How's it going, everybody? This is Blister with Less Than Epic coming at you with another classic WoW video. In today's video, we're going to continue down the train of going through all the professions, and today we're going to talk about enchanting. So the first thing to think about when it comes to enchanting is who should really get enchanting? What classes will enchanting benefit the most? I would recommend going with Clothies, since it does pair very nicely with tailoring. More specifically, it pairs even better with mages, since they can AoE farm dungeons for enchanting and tailoring mats more easily than priests and warlocks. That being said, enchanting is beneficial to all classes, so it doesn't really matter which class you pick. Why should you get it? Well, it actually has a pretty high ceiling for gold making once you're at cap. There will be a lot of required effort to get different rare recipes once you are at cap at level 60, but if you end up doing that, you can end up saving time in the long run by just standing in your major city and making gold just by selling your services. Now when it comes to leveling, like everything else, we're not going to give you guys a 1 to 300 guide on how to level up enchanting. We will leave you guys a link down below for the best guide that we could find to help you guys level from 1 to 300. What you should know is that, like we said before, tailoring pairs very nicely with enchanting. You can craft green items with tailoring and feed that directly into enchanting, so you can level up both at the same time. Even if you are doing that with tailoring, you're still going to want to disenchant as much as you can, because tailoring alone will not get you up to cap unless you do an insane amount of farming. Be very careful though, you do not want to disenchant everything. It can be tempting to not care what green you just looted and what it actually does, and you just think the best course of action is just to disenchant it, so that way you can get your extra materials to level up your enchanting. But what about your mount? Enchanting is not a profession where you can make some gold on the side as you level it up. It's actually a pretty big gold investment. Make sure you hold on to the green BOEs that are leather and agility stamina, or plate gear that has strength and stamina. Those are going to be worth more on the auction house than what you can turn them into dust for. Enchanting can pay off big time in the end, but don't forget how important it is to get a mount in classic WoW. While tailoring can help you level up enchanting and tailoring simultaneously, you don't always want to be doing that. Tailoring is definitely going to be a big bonus to helping you level up, but eventually the returns will start to diminish. After you get to roughly level 100, you'll notice how much more difficult it is to level up enchanting, even with tailoring feeding you greens. Because of this, a lot of people will actually abandon enchanting outright and just work on leveling. We don't suggest that you do that, but it would be a nice idea to level, 10 to 15 levels without worrying about enchanting, and then go solo farm some dungeons for some cloth that you can turn into greens, and you're also going to be getting greens, so you have even more greens that you can use to power level your enchanting. So when it comes to enchanting, what do you actually need to know? Well, you need to know that you get disenchant. Disenchant is going to let you extract magical elements from good or higher quality equipable items. Those magical elements are going to give you 3 different types of reagents. You're going to get dust, shards/crystals, and lesser/greater essences. You also need to know that, like I said before, this is a very big money sink. Enchanting does require quite a bit of gold to level up. You'll often find yourself heading to the auction house trying to just buy 1 or 2 more pieces of shards or dust just to get to the next group of recipes from your trainer. On top of that, you won't have nearly as many greens to either vendor or auction because you're saving everything from enchanting. Even once you get to cap and you've capped enchanting, it can be daunting to make money without having a rare recipe, and buying them can cost hundreds if not thousands of gold. All of that being said, if you are determined and put in enough gold and time into enchanting, you will start to see a return and you will start to make a profit after painstakingly leveling up your professions. You also need to know that you're a little bit dependent on blacksmiths. Blacksmiths actually craft the rods that are required to be made by enchanters to perform enchants. Wands is another little piece that you really need to know about. Wands are awesome in early game. Enchanting wands are very powerful, so you need to make sure that if you are rolling a clothy, that you're getting one of these as soon as possible. And what about those trainers? Well, as per usual with most profession trainers, you'll be able to train your apprentice and journeyman training that will allow you to skill up to 75 and 150 respectively in all of your major cities. Your expert training, which will allow enchanting skill of up to 225, is Hgarth in the Stonetalon Mountains for the Horde, and Kitta Firewind in Elywnn Forest for the Alliance. The Artisan training, which will allow skill up to 300, is Annora in Ulclaman, and that is for both the Horde and the Alliance. And the last big thing that you really need to know in general knowledge for enchanting is, unlike blacksmithing and leatherworking and engineering, there are no specializations. You just pick up enchanting and you're good to go. You don't have to worry about going through all those horrible side quests to unlock this, that, and the other thing just to be able to unlock your specialization for your profession. Now, what about the thing that a lot of people really care about? How do we make gold with enchanting? Well, the great thing about trying to make gold with enchanting is that almost everyone is always going to be in need of a new enchant. There are 7 to 8, depending on how you count it, different slots that you need an enchanter to get enchanted. Think of all the new gear people are getting from raids, dungeons, and PvP rewards on a weekly basis. When those items are obtained, the first thing people do is go and get them enchanted. So there will always be a high demand for enchanters from the start to finish of Classic. Now, the best way to make gold with enchanting is with rare recipes. Just like all other crafting professions, enchanting has its fair share of recipes that can be found throughout the world from random world drops off of any mob in the game. If you can get some of the harder to find patterns at late game, you can learn them and then you can sell your services very easily in your capital city for a pretty penny. We spoke on this briefly before, but if you are willing to put in the effort in once you reach cap, there are even more rare recipes that are even more sought after that are bind on pickup. One such example is Enchant Weapon Healing Power. All healers will want to get this extra 55 healing power, but it only drops from bosses in Molten Core. If you can be one of the first people on your server to get this recipe and other recipes like this, now you're going to be making a killing by just selling your services. And the last little way that you can actually make a little bit of money here and there is with trade goods. As we mentioned previously, wands in early game with enchanting are very good. That means you can usually make a little bit of money here and there with that. It's not going to be a lot because it'll be very easy for anybody in the game to actually be able to make these. However, there are other things like enchanted leather and enchanted thorium bars. These aren't going to fetch you a lot of money, but there's always potential to make money with them. Well guys, that's pretty much all we got for you today. If you did like this video, make sure you leave a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button. If you want to get notified for more notifications from us, hit that little bell icon. Leave a comment. Just let us know what you thought. It all really helps us out. Do want to also let you guys know that we're also going to be switching our streaming services. We usually stream on YouTube, but we're trying to push to Twitch. So starting Monday, we're going to be trying more streaming on Twitch. So take a look in both places if you're looking for us on those live streams. As always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.